Madeline, would you like to start us off and read something?
Okay. You know, I'm so in love with everything, I don't know what to do. But I think I'm going to read something because it's the Jewish holiday is coming up. So I'm going to read something that's related to that, if you don't mind. It's called Arriving on Foot. It's very short. I was on a tour of Israel, headed toward Jerusalem. This trip was special because for the first time in many years, our family was traveling together. It was a 2-week tour, and at the end, my husband and I were going on to England for a week, and the kids were going to Switzerland. We would meet up at Heathrow Airport and fly back to New York together. Gary, as my son, had just finished college in June and was headed to law school. Laura had been teaching for a few years and was happy to be on her summer break. The year was 1987. The other tourists in our group were also traveling with their children. All the kids seemed to enjoy each other's company, perhaps a little too much. Many times we could not locate our children at night. It turned out that they discovered Israeli nightlife, and so did their new friends from the tour. What's to worry about? We were not aware that the first intifada was fermenting and would begin just as we arrived safely home. Our tour director, Joseph, was a former IDF colonel, 5'2", and all muscle and bluster. He confided to us that he carried a gun and an Uzi rifle was under his seat. There were other rifles stowed on in the baggage compartment of the coach as well. Just as we approached Jerusalem, the coach came to a screeching halt. Uh-oh. Joseph jumped up, grabbed his gun and the microphone and announced, "Everybody out now." As one, we rose and got off the bus. There at the side of the gravel road was a sign in Hebrew. Just before the sign was a table covered with a linen tablecloth and paper cups of Carmel red wine. "We never ride into Jerusalem, we walk," Joseph shouted. "So drink up and let's go for a walk."
Very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very nice.
I could do another short one if you want.
Yes, please.
Okay. This one is called Where's the Food? "There's nothing to eat in this house," Aaron said. "I just went grocery shopping yesterday. I spent over $80 and had to make 2 trips with my shopping cart to get it all up into the apartment," I answered. "We have fresh, juicy apples, the kind you like, ripe bananas with just a fleck of brown, and grapes without seeds, as you requested. There's cheese, milk, eggs, bread, meat, chicken. What do you mean, no food?" My husband's undeveloped palate did not consider that stuff food. Those were staples. "What's to eat?" he repeated. "Oh, please, are you starting that again?" I was more than a little annoyed. "Why don't you do the shopping and the schlepping?" "I will," he answered, "but you have to write down in detail exactly what you want. You can't just write milk. You have to be more specific. Is it a quart, a gallon, the brand name, calcium enriched, 2%, 1%, skim, whole, organic? Don't just write ketchup. You have to write exactly what you want. Heinz, Hunt's, store brand, a squeeze bottle, a glass bottle, a number of ounces. And don't ask me to buy produce. I'm not good at that at all. How should I know if a pineapple is ripe or not?" On and on he goes, making a simple grocery list into a short story. But I am wise to this tactic. After 50 years of marriage, I know that it wasn't an avoidance technique. It was a fear of making a mistake. His accounting background and attention to details were driving him. He really meant to say that there was nothing to not snack on. No Oreo cookies, no chips, no pretzels, no ice cream, no soda, nothing with empty calories, because he had already devoured them and needed a new supply. Furthermore, the few times we went food shopping together, he practically threw a tantrum when I said no to the jumbo-sized bag of Chips Ahoy cookies. The funny thing is that since we were empty nesters, we ate out most nights anyway, and it was really wasteful to buy food. So he was right, and not food shopping would have saved a lot of time for me, because when I went grocery shopping, I actually handled the food 7 times. There was the selecting and putting it in the shopping cart, taking it out of the wagon so the cashier could ring it up, putting the bagged stuff back in the cart, taking it out of the cart and into my car, and finally removing it from the car and putting it into my small shopping cart to take the stuff up the elevator to my apartment. Then there was the emptying of the bags and putting the stuff away, either into the pantry or the refrigerator. Last, there was the storing of the empty bags, usually saving the plastic ones for wet refuse and the paper bags for recycling and the newspapers. I could have saved a few steps in the process by just emptying the newly bought food into the compactor room from the elevator, because that is where most of it went anyway. Aaron was right. Just buy chips, pretzels, ice cream, and cookies. Once in a while, maybe a good coffee cake. He would have been delighted, and I could have saved myself a lot of work and many an argument. Nowadays, whenever I see his favorite brand of cookies and soda pop in the supermarket, I think back to those delightful days when there was nothing to eat in the house.
That's great. That's great.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, ready to listen? I have
You want to
tons
talk?
more.
Oh, good. Yeah, tell about your books, please. You want to show them to us again?
Oh, yes, I've written 4 books of personal essays. It's sort of creative nonfiction. And the first one is called Geography is Destiny, because I lived in 4 major places in my life. And each area that I lived in, mostly on the East Coast, had a different culture, and it influenced the way the people you meet, the opportunities you had, friendships and courses you could take and so forth. The next book was called Dating in My 70s. And I was widowed. Yeah, I know, people date. And surfing the internet and the adventures and the drama and the disasters and the delights. And the third was called One and Done, which had to do with my widowhood and the trials and tribulations and more adventures and trips that I had taken. And the last one is called Grandma for 1 Hour, which means, I was telling Rick, that my grandchildren, I have 2 girls, and they live 5 minutes away, but one is 15 going on 45, and the little one is 11 going on 12, but sort of getting there. And we used to spend much more time together because it was fun to sleep over grandma's and have dinner, and I would take the kids out to the restaurants and so forth. Now it's, the friends, and there's no real time. So the family decided that since I moved here because of them, that we would meet once a week for dinner, family dinner, so that I get to be a grandma for 1 hour. But it's a compilation of also why I don't date anymore, and I have some recipes and other stories. Oh, I was also a teacher, and there's loads of stories about teaching.
See, that's great, because that's going to be something that they treasure someday. I don't know how much they appreciate it now, but at some point they're going to say, this is fantastic that she left us all these insights into her life and what she did.
I'm not interested in selling and going on book tours and all that. I just want people to know that there was someone named Maddie Sept, and she lived, and this is what her life was like. And
Hmm.
Right.
yeah,
I think
So
that's
that's what I
fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Thank you. I know that I got your first book from Amazon. Is this one on Amazon as well? The new
Yes.
one? Okay,
They're all on Amazon.
good. Okay, well, thank you very much. It was
You're
great to
welcome.
great to see you.
Same here.
Let's see, Mary, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you want to
Yeah.
share anything, Mary?
No, I just came to listen tonight. I don't really have anything.
Okay. Larry, do you have anything?
Yeah, I could read a couple of chapters from a piece I'm working on. This is something that came out of a prompt. The prompt
Mm.
was, you wake up and you've got tattoos, talk about them. So I took it in a different approach, and I entitled it Ink Wiped. Chapter 1. I come awake suddenly, startled by something, a sound maybe. I open my eyes, but the room is cased in darkness. My head is throbbing, so I sit up slowly, unsure of my surroundings. I'm on a bed, lying on top of the covers. Had I fallen asleep suddenly, not even bothering to pull the sheets up over myself? Why would I have done that? My mind is foggy and I'm confused. Have I been drinking? Where am I? The room feels unfamiliar to me. As my eyes adjust to the dim light, I see there's a window with the shades pulled down. Some light is leaking through from the street outside. Is that what woke me? Some outside light? I prefer to sleep in blacked out rooms. At least I think I do. But no, I'm pretty sure it was a noise of some sort that woke me. Noise from the parking lot, maybe? I swivel my head slowly, searching for sounds, and now I hear it clearly. Ding! A cell phone? Voicemail or a text message? I reach out my arms, groping for an end table that I sense in the shadows next to the bed. There's a phone there. Mine? It doesn't feel familiar. Why do I feel so fuzzy? I pick up the phone and it illuminates in response. You have one new message appears on the screen. I press the icon to retrieve the message. After a few seconds, I hear a voice. What's your name? Then silence. I think to myself, is this some sort of crank call? And then it slowly dawns on me. I don't know the answer. A few more seconds pass by. Numb, I don't know what to do next. Mercifully, the message on the voicemail resumes. Okay, I'm guessing I now have your full attention. Understatement of the year. Your memory has been wiped. You've been given all of the clues you need, though. This doesn't have to be a permanent condition. Get up and go turn on some lights, then go look in the mirror. You can handle it from there. A few more seconds of silence, then you have no more messages. The phone beeps and I drop it on the bed. I spin around on the rough blanket and step to my feet. Through the dim light, I see a door. There should be a light switch there. I reach for where a switch should be. It doesn't disappoint me. I flip it up and an overhead light comes on. The warm yellow glare of tungsten bulbs illuminates the room and details snap into view. It looks like a typical cheap motel room. The wallpaper seems dated and faded, and it's peeling loose in a few places. The bed, rumpled from my moving around, looks old and barely serviceable. This is no five-star hotel. There's a small TV set on a dresser, and behind it, there's a mirror. I move in front of it, and my brain feels like it's buzzing. I see my reflection, but I don't recognize my face. How can that be? And my eyes move down the reflection, where my torso, I discover, is covered with tattoos. Is that me? Have I always had these tattoos? My chest and abdomen are a riotous mix of colors and patterns. My arms, from my shoulders to my wrist, are covered with what look like full sleeves of images. I look down and confirm that the tattoos cover me down to my feet. I turn around, looking over my shoulder. I see my back is covered with them as well. I feel like the world is spinning out of control. Who am I? What's my name? Where am I? Who left me that message? What do they mean when they said I could handle it from there? Handle what? I need to catch my breath. Why can't I remember? Suddenly, there's a loud pounding on the door. Bam, bam, bam. Open up or I'll break the door down. This doesn't seem good. If you'd like, I can do chapter 2.
Oh, please. Don't leave us
Chapter
there.
2. Time for a quick inventory. Across the room, there's an easy chair and ottoman, and what I assume are my clothes draped carelessly across them. Long sleeved pullover, jeans, and on the floor by the ottoman, some socks and shoes. I quickly start dressing, still looking around to see what other resources I might have. I'm grateful that the clothes cover the tattoos. I'm not sure I'm ready to deal with those yet. Grab the phone, obviously. It's my only connection to possible clues as to what's going on. On the dresser, there's a wallet. I flip it open, but there's no ID there. Some cash, maybe a few $100s. A credit card, except it's not labeled. No name or numbers, just a black featureless card with a smart chip embedded in it. Maybe that'll give me some sort of lead. I shove the wallet into my pants pocket where it bumps something already there. I pull the object out. It looks like a key fob, one of those electronic devices that allows you to start your car remotely. So maybe I have a car. Bam, bam. Hurry up. I know you're in there. Well, that seems like everything I can get from the room. Can I exit through the window and avoid having to deal with whoever this is banging on the door? I step to the window and peel back the shade. I'm at least 3 stories up, looking over a parking lot. There are a few cars down there, but I don't recognize any of them. No ledge or ladder outside, so I think my only way out is through the door and getting past whoever's on the other side of it. I guess I have to deal with that before the noise attracts any more attention. Hold your horses, I shout. I cross the room and unlock the door. Stepping back, I wait. The knob turns and a stranger pushes the door open. He's big, 6'2", maybe 210 pounds, bigger than me. All right, come along quietly. You need to return to the facility with me. Facility? That sounds ominous. What facility? I'm sorry, who are you and what are you talking about? He looks surprised. They said there might be some confusion. Okay, look, you were in a medical trial and you had a bad reaction. I was able to locate you and I'm supposed to bring you back so they can correct the problem. That does sound somewhat consistent with what I seem to be experiencing. Still, this guy looks pretty big and substantial, like the kind of person you send in case the person you locate doesn't want to go willingly. I'm not really inclined to go anywhere with this guy unless I get some more satisfying answers first. My hesitancy must show on my face because his expression changes. Not so friendly now. Or we can do this the hard way, he says, and he reaches into his jacket pocket and starts to pull something out. Suddenly, everything changes to slow motion. It's like he's only moving at half speed, or my brain is moving at double time. I can clearly see that what he's pulling from his pocket is a taser. He must have decided I wasn't going to come along of my own accord, and this is his escalation. Since I'm unarmed, this would be a prudent action on his part. But with this expanded time sense, I see that it'll be easy to avoid his weapon. In fact, I can see an easy way to take it from him. I quickly shift to my left, step forward until I'm alongside him, grab his right hand with my right hand, swivel right, and use my left foot to kick his knee from behind. As he starts to fall, I lever his arm up, twist his wrist down, and easily strip the taser from his hand. Since I've got it, I decide I might as well use it. Zap! He goes down hard, shaking from the discharge of current I just applied to the back of his neck. That's going to leave a mark. I give him another jolt for good measure, and he looks like he's down for the count. I reach under him, pull out his belt, and use it to secure his hands behind his back. I'm not sure how long he'll stay down from being tased, especially with this weird time sensation that I'm experiencing, So I pull a sheet from the bed and hog tie his legs with it. I notice that I'm sweating. I feel slightly feverish, maybe from the exertion, or maybe he was telling the truth and I really am experiencing some sort of medical issue. I raise my left arm to wipe the sweat from my eyes, and as my sleeve pulls back, I notice that my tattoos are glowing. I put a finger on one glowing spot on my arm, and it's hot to the touch. That's strange. These don't seem to be ordinary tattoos. It's almost as if they're dissipating the heat from my physical efforts in subduing this guy. I'll figure this out later. For now, what can I learn about this guy and whoever he's working for? I ransack his pockets. Car fob, cell phone, wallet. Unlike mine, his wallet has ID. If it's accurate, his name is Jacob Stone, and he lives in Raleigh, North Carolina. Maybe that's a clue about my current location. I check his cell phone and it's secured. It's a model with biometrics, so I run it across his index finger and it unlocks. I quickly disable the lock so I can get in whenever I want, and I shut it down and remove the battery so nobody can track it. I do the same with my own cell phone, since it seems like that's the most likely explanation for how he found me. The wallet holds a few $100s in cash, which I liberate. Spoils of war. A typical array of credit cards in his name, along with a featureless black card like the one I found in my wallet. Maybe it's an access card for his place of work, so I grab it as well. I think it's probably time for me to go, so I zap him one more time with a taser for good measure. His body flops and he moans, but he doesn't regain consciousness. I stick the do not disturb sign on the doorknob and pull it shut behind me.
Wow.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is his first time at trying to write a, fiction, like novel, towards a novel, maybe.
It's
One
working.
chapter at a time.
That's what you do, one chapter at a time. That's right. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Very entertaining.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Claudine, did you want to share anything? Oh, maybe
Can you
she's,
hear me?
yeah, we can hear you now. Did you want to share anything?
I did not bring anything to share. I am at my son's football practice. So I didn't, and like Maggie was saying, it's just my first time, joining this group, and so I wasn't sure what would be a great fit. So I was hoping just to listen and
Well,
kind of get to know everyone and their writing.
Can we get to know you a little bit? Will you tell us a bit about your writing?
Oh, sure. So I am with Rich and Maggie and a couple others at the Haverford Township Free Library Writers Group. We meet once a month on a Monday. And the kind of writing that I've been doing is kind of memoir-based creative nonfiction. So I'm writing stories based on my life and just kind of elaborating on some old journals. I have kept a journal for 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and my life's had a lot of ups and downs, and it's had a lot of interesting patterns. And I thought that it might be nice just to kind of finish my own story. And so I share that with others in the group, and they've been very kind in listening. So it's been a little bit therapeutic as well.
That's good. Thank you.
Sure.
I would say it hasn't been hard to be kind about your writing, Claudine. I feel like it's excellent. So
It really is. Yeah.
Thank you, Rain.
Yeah, I wish
Everyone's
I'd kept
been so
journals for years.
supportive. It's so nice to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the act of keeping a journal is really great writing practice. I mean, the more you write, the better you get. So I wish I'd been journaling for all these years before I retired.
Is that an online group or just in person?
It's both, actually.
Oh,
It's a hybrid meeting. It works very well.
We might could go.
Yeah,
Yeah, you get a chance, Rich, to send me the details on that one.
I will send you. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
And Maggie, did you decide if you wanted to share anything?
I don't, let me just see here, guys. I don't, nothing in this binder is edited. I have like, over the years, I just sort of write things. I don't even, hold on, just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Just see if I can dig something up here that would be actually worth sharing. I know it seems like a non-judgmental group, which is nice.
I have a question for the group.
Mhm.
Does anyone else feel this way? I feel like I don't know how I feel about something until I write it down. Until I write about it. It kind of helps me process my thoughts. So I
I would
write
agree with
everything.
that.
I am constantly writing everything down. I mean, I call it a journal, but I mean, everything ends up in writing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that too, Claudine. I found it very helpful in processing some things.
Okay.
Guys, I'm sorry. I've got just stuff scattered all about.
Okay.
Well, I think that, something, the more I write, the more I get the idea that for me, I think writing's kind of easy, getting something, a first draft down, but editing is incredibly difficult. Going back and saying, okay, this idea was promising, but how do I turn it into something polished that's, going to reach the audience I intend and, and stand on its own. And that's where I think more of my time
Oh, yeah.
is always going to be spent on editing than the actual getting a first draft in. And I guess doing those prompts helps. It's like, I can get a first draft of an idea down pretty quickly. And I write at the computer, and I took typing in high school and worked with computers as a career. So I can type really fast. And so writing at the keyboard feels natural, and I print it and I can mark it up and, make the changes, print it again, go through that several iterations. I don't mind wasting paper and ink. But yeah, the act of editing is so much more difficult than coming up with an idea. It's how do you polish it and make it, make it shine. And that's what I struggle with. But that's why I love groups like this, because any feedback is helpful.
You're right. The editing is really difficult. I've edited books for 2 other people, but I can't edit my own stuff very well. I've really been looking for an editor for years, somebody that would get into the nitty gritty of my stuff and really tell me if it's any good or not. It's really hard to find people who can do that, but you can get software to do some of it. I have like 3 different apps that I use that will go through and look for things that are anomalies and misused English words and stuff. But
Oh, wow.
nothing replaces the eyeball and the brain of a human being.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult to do. But the 2 books I edited came out pretty nice. The people that I edited them for really liked them. But it's very hard to do for yourself. At some point, you're right. You're going to reach to where the point where just you can't take it any further. It's pretty much going to be, okay, this is it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But your writing's good, so you have a good start.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Well, does anybody have anything else they'd like to share?
Oh, I would.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Okay, if you don't mind, it's kind of short. This is called A New Job. Sally knew that if she didn't find another teaching job in a different system, she would quit altogether after 27 years. Her new incoming principal was an incompetent political crony who brought with her a custom-made chair for her ample butt and a refrigerator. A new incoming principal should have brought files and books. But who would want an over-the-hill teacher in her 50s? The Cranberry Hill School District was desperate for a reading teacher / gifted education person rolled up into one. She fit the bill as for training and experience, but what about the interview, the demonstration lesson, and the approval of the school board? In New York City, a candidate took a written exam and upon passing was assigned to a school. but in Cranberry Hill, it was a major ordeal. Sally was shocked and over the moon when she was called for an interview after the demonstration lesson. She was told that there would be a panel at the interview. The PTA president, a reading teacher, the principal, the assistant principal, a teaching assistant, the gifted education department head, and the lead janitor. Trust me when I tell you that the janitors or the custodians run the school, not the principal. Trust me, it's true. They decide when to turn on the heat, when to turn on the AC, how clean the building is going to be, so forth and so on. But so they come in and on the interviews. When Sally arrived, outfitted in her conservative, sensible outfit, there they were waiting for her, seated around a mahogany table, dark brown, with more than a few stains and nicks. They began introducing themselves. Sally smiled and said, "Would you mind slowing down so I can memorize your names?" One by one, as each person gave their name, Sally made a seating plan. As she cleverly answered their questions, she was able to say their names first. Very impressive. The principal asked, "What did you do this summer, Sally?" Sally smiled at him and with a bit of an Irish brogue answered, "I just returned from a trip to Ireland." Then and there, the job was hers, and she aced the interview. Principal O'Reilly beamed from ear to ear.
Right, yeah. That's right.
Thank you.
That was a great way to end. Thank you very much.
Good stuff.
Always leave them laughing, right?
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. This was really fun. I'm really glad we got
It
together.
was.
It was.
I hope to do these maybe every other month if possible, if the library approves it, but I try to do it on Zoom and give people a chance to share their work and be seen. I was planning on posting this on YouTube to promote to people's reading, and I'm sorry, to promote people's writing. If you don't want to be in the video, let me know and I can cut you out. It's not a problem, but I usually takes a couple days to edit it and post it. So let me know. But
Wow.
this was really fun.
Yeah,
And
great.
I know I'll see some of you next month in the Reader Writers Circle and the Haverford Township group. If you know of any other writers groups and you want to share that information, you can let me know and I'll share it with the people who are here tonight. Larry, the group you're in sounds really excellent.
Yeah, they
Really
really
good.
are.
We
So-
are
The
finding,
Haverford group meets next month. Can I be part of that? Or
Yeah, I
is
can
it
send
that
you
first-
the librarian's.
link.
The librarian asked me to give her email to anyone who's interested. I'll send it to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Rick. I want to hear your writing too. Next
Yeah, I
time.
didn't prepare anything for tonight because I had to host it and I can never do both things at once. So, but maybe next time I'll have something. But we do in the Reader Writers Circle. We also we post things online and share them, the written versions of things. But people also read during the meeting. We have a lot of poets who read during the meeting, so it's a nice
Oh.
variety of material. About half the people are poets now. Half the people are prose writers. So it works really well. And so you can share things ahead of time. Even if you don't come to a meeting, you could still share something online. I'll send that information out so you can use it if you want to. Does anybody
Thank
have
you, Rich.
anything you'd like to add?
well, it's kind of becoming a friends group and that, you know, we like say in my neighborhood, we're the only writers as far as I know, you know, and this is really good for us to have sort of a friends group, something in common is nice.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it's very helpful.
Shared experience is very good.
Well, it's great seeing everyone. Hope you
Thank you.
all enjoy
right.
fall, which is
Bye,
apparently going to
everybody.
hit us tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So take care.
Okay, good night,
Thank
everybody.
Thank you,
Next
Rich.
time.
Thanks for putting this
Thank you,
together.
Thanks,
Rich.
Rich.
Thank you. Good
Appreciate
night.
it.
Rich.
Good
Good
night.
night.